You know, when you get resistance from someone, you feel resistance in yourself. You see someone, you think a certain thing, judgments come, and it doesn't feel good. You know, it's always like, oh, I'm trying to make myself feel above this person. I'm feeling like unsturdy, so I need to make up a story which makes them above or below me. But just to accept that unsturdiness we feel when we get triggered is it's like awesome, and it's meant to happen, because it's shaking the shit out. It's us waking up. It's awesome. And it gets confusing because when we identify with the thoughts, when it becomes ego, it gets tricky because it's clever. And we get wrapped up in the story, and then we keep penning a deeper story. Instead of just feeling what it is as it is. It just needs to be felt. It's coming up for a reason. So to become aware of this tendency to get stuck in your mind about it, become aware of the tendencies of the stories, because it's just kind of how the mind's wired. And we're learning how to do this properly. We're learning how to get out of that old reactionary living, autopilot, straight up autopilot. We can get triggered and get stuck in a story for a long time. We'll keep adding more complex layers. It keeps taking more life vitality to support the story too, which is so heavy and draining. And it really holds you back from enjoying a full life, a full, rich experience, because that shit takes up bandwidth. That shit takes up processing power. If you're using up all your processing power on all these stories and programs, you're not going to have very much left over for the programs you do want to run, especially if you don't even know you're running those programs in the background. Yeah, so try to remember the times when you have had someone do that to you. So let's say I'm getting triggered by you, and just I'm coming up with a story for some reason, and I think about you coming up with a story about me. And we've all had those times where we know it's kind of happening, and we're feeling a lot of resistance from the other person, even though they're not saying a lot. So just remember that no one's above it, and this process is super important. And it happens to you, it happens to you, it happens to everyone, it happens to we. And try to remember that, because we often want to take it personally. If someone's having that experience around us, like, what did I do to cause this? What way should I restrict myself from causing this person's assumed discomfort? But what that discomfort is the best thing ever. Yeah. So little reminders. I find it's important. I remind myself of this stuff all the time. It's like, oh yeah, I remember when I was doing that all the time. And it's like that for everything. We've done everything. We've been everyone at one time or another. We've acted in a certain way, and no one can escape that. And often the ego's like, no, you were never that, I'm this. And it's like, no. You've experienced everything. You've been everyone. You've been everything. And we try stuff out to see if it vibes. If we don't try stuff out, we don't know. You don't know you love basketball till you try playing basketball. So remember that you're gonna get triggered, and it's fucking awesome when it happens. And just observe the story trying to come up, but see what's happening is we would not get triggered if it wasn't already within us to get stirred up. Otherwise, it would just be nothing. It wouldn't even be on our radar. So these things, everyone's a teacher. People are bringing up our blind spots. Consciously or unconsciously, probably their higher self is. And it's like awesome, infinite opportunities for expansion and awareness, and opportunities to grow into who you are and not the shit character that we drag around, the character that we adopted because we didn't know what we were and we felt unsturdy, so we needed to adopt a character to play along with. I was having a conversation with my friend Carl today about this too. I used to emulate stuff when I was little. Like, I'd watch a movie. How you doing, man? Good, brother. I'd watch a movie and then I'd be like, this character's cool. I always used to emulate stoners. Like, I loved Slater from Dazed and Confused, and I loved like Brian from Half Baked, and I just thought they were cool for some reason. I think because they're like chill, and they're just like one love, and they're like, it's all good, man. And I just like used to want to talk like that, and it's probably why I started smoking weed when I was a teenager. It just felt cool. You know, obviously emulated other things as well, but as I really started to become aware of all these programs I had, right, I'm like, oh, that was just like a character that I chose to play because for some reason I wanted to experience it. And now I see, and like, that character no longer serves me anymore. And I'm interested in other characters for the experience to feel more. To that's what we're doing. We're sensory beings, we're human feelings. We're here to feel. You know? And what we feel, our experiences dictate the direction we move in our life. You know, I always say, it doesn't really matter to know what you like, but to know what you don't like. So every situation we go into that creates contrast, where it's like, I don't vibe with this, but you let yourself do it, then you can really have an opinion about it. That's not judgment. And when you observe something without judgment, you kind of learn what you need from it. Does this vibe with me or does this not vibe with me? And that's infinitely more beneficial than knowing what you do like, because I believe what you do like is just like part of you. It's part of your higher self. I think we've come here for certain roles and certain tasks, and that's our alignment, and when we get into them, stuff is smooth. Like, I can talk on a long ass video like this because I feel aligned and I'm speaking about what is true, so I don't even need to think about it, and that's nice because I'm not penning this whole giant fucking story that I memorize and regurgitate. But there's so much information in feeling. I feel stuff sometimes, and it's like an info packet is in there, and it's like, oh, there's so much memories in here, or like there's so much info, and way more info than if I was to put a feeling to the word. Like, I'm gonna feel happy, okay, but if I am feeling happy, the words that come out of that, instead of saying I'm happy but feeling I'm happy and then describing it, other than saying the word then trying to feeling the feeling and then saying the word of the feeling, is infinitely more expansive. It's just like I can describe so much about it, because it's like words mean nothing essentially. All words and all descriptions are signposts to guide you to the feeling, so you understand when you feel it. It's like it can be hard for people to teach the meditation and Zen stuff like that too. It's like, I want this peace. Well, it's like, you can't just say I am love. You know, mantras are helpful, but like, it needs to be felt, and sometimes saying it can begin the process of awakening how to feel it. But the most valuable thing is our feelings. So however we get there, for me, I had to start using words to get there, because I felt super disconnected from it in the way I was going. I'm like, I'm not going to get there this way. So I started creating what I thought was that, and what appeared to be that. So in the same way, like emulating the characters on the movie, I'm almost emulating we emulate before we actualize. You know, like before we walk, we probably see someone else walk and then like cool, and then we kind of fumble, but we have the example first, like a teacher or a visual representation, and that's what we use. That's what we build the dream with. We have the idea, we have the vision, and then we make it into reality. So it's a very powerful tool when you don't know how to feel it and you don't even know what feeling it is, and someone's just, well, feel this way. Well, it's like, I can't, because I don't know. I would if I could. I would if I knew how. So I think we start to look for the ways to know how with words, and then that starts to create the reality. Or we get opportunities that help us bring us closer towards that feeling, because I really think what we put our intention on is what really manifests. And often we don't know what we're wishing for. Like, we think we're wishing for something, but we're out of alignment. And what we get, and then we get mad, like, this didn't work, I tried being positive. But it's such a big animal. So anyways, some things to think about in this video, and I wanted to share that. It felt very potent to me tonight. So have a wonderful night or day. Good morning, good evening, and good day. And I love you, and we are all one, and blah 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 blah, but you know it when you feel it.